Just like so many places in Sussex, there is always something new to discover, like the Church of the Good Shepherd in Lullington near Alfriston, noted as being one of the smallest churches in England. Whenever I come into these churches, I'm always blown away by how simple they are. I've seen churches across the world, Catholic churches, Orthodox churches, and they're so grand, and that grandness really does humble you. But in simple little churches like this, that simplicity really brings you back to the fundamentals of the Gospels, which is what these churches are all about. It's amazing to think how much history is actually here on this spot. Although not this actual church as it stands today, but back in the 17th century, Oliver Cromwell burnt the church down that was here. There isn't even any electricity here. And there never has been. Which means that when you come to a service here in the evenings, it's all lit by candle. And that is in a very poetic sense, that's a way we can relate to the people of the past who used to come here as well, by being in that same atmosphere with the same kind of lighting. If we use our senses properly and we look with a certain kind of eye, we can see into the past and we can see its beauty. Ever since the church was first conceived on this site, back in the 12th century, there have been countless reiterations as the old church has fallen down or been destroyed or been burnt down. And each time the stones and the flint from the previous structure has been used to build the next one. But then when you look at the stones here around the opening to the window, you can still see the chisel marks left from the artisan who carved them. And that just goes to show that churches aren't just practical structures, they're also works of art in and of themselves. And it's that artistry that Again, it helps us understand that human story, helps us understand the history and the motivations, the emotional motivations behind why people build structures like this. I know I often look at things in a very poetic way, but yes, that idea of artistry, that idea of poetry, it pulls us again, it pulls us back to Scripture, it pulls us back into the Bible. Because the Bible, yes, it is a very structured religious text, but it's also poetic, it's also artistic. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. What I'm walking out into now is actually part of the footprint of the original church. And you can see from what's left of the walls here and here, over the other side there, and in front of me. So I'm actually walking out into what would have been the nave, with the entrance either on this side or this side flanking the church. What we also find here though are additional graves, pottery and glass, and that demonstrates that this site, through archaeological research, has been used for countless centuries. Count your steps back and forth, hill and valley, south to north. Touch the stone, carved by hand, before it crumbles, reduced to sand. This would have once been an internal portion of the church, but now it's exposed because the rest of it has obviously deteriorated over the years. But you can see that it's part of this original structure because of the shape across the top here is similar to what we have over here in the windows that are still being utilised. But I think that's a rather charming feature of a church like this, to have this exposed exterior window that's no longer in use. It's a demonstration and a shape of what this church possibly looked like when it was complete. Beauty isn't merely skin deep. Beauty is often found in the quiet, unnoticed corners of our hearts. It is immeasurable and belongs to the soul. Whether you're spiritual or not, places like this are a fundamental part of the landscape. I wouldn't exchange a single stone or brick from this church for all the earthly gifts this world has to offer, because, as it says in the Gospel of Mark, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?